Welcome to History Explained, where we illuminate the past to better understand our present. I'm your guide for this weekly dose of 7 days under 7 minutes. Today is Sunday, June 8, 2025. As we do every Sunday, we explore innovations and inventions, those extraordinary breakthroughs that redefined what's possible and propelled humanity into new eras of discovery, production, and creativity. This week, from June 2nd to June 8th, we track how recent headlines reflect not just today's technologies, but centuries of innovation layered into our lives. We begin in Geneva, where the World Health Organization released its annual Global Health Innovation Index on June 5th. This year's report spotlighted a surge in wearable biosensor technologies, devices that monitor glucose, stress, and respiratory function in real time. The WHO emphasized how these inventions are transforming healthcare from treatment to prevention. Yet the science behind them owes much to the development of early electrocardiographs and diagnostic machines, innovations that emerged in the 19th and 20th centuries and now fit on our wrists. Meanwhile, on June 3rd, India's space agency ISRO successfully tested a new reusable winged spaceplane prototype, marking a significant step in South Asia's space race. Designed to reduce the cost of satellite deployment, the test flight rekindled memories of NASA's early shuttle program and Europe's Hermes project. But the real inspiration reaches back even further, to the innovations of Konstantin Tsiolkovsky and Robert Goddard, whose dreams of rocketry laid the foundation for global space programs now pushing toward orbital reusability. In Stockholm, the Nobel Prize Museum debuted a new exhibition on the science of AI, opening on June 6th. Blending interactive models and historical artifacts, the exhibit traced artificial intelligence from Alan Turing's theoretical, universal machine, to modern generative AI. Among the most striking displays was a reconstructed Enigma decoder, reminding visitors that innovation often begins in times of crisis, and that many of today's computational tools descend from wartime breakthroughs in encryption and analysis. Back in the US, the Department of Energy announced a public-private fusion energy consortium on June 4th, aimed at accelerating commercial-scale fusion within the next decade. With private companies achieving record confinement times and energy outputs in recent months, fusion, which once seemed like distant science fiction, is now entering a critical phase of feasibility. From tokamaks to lasers, the pathway to limitless clean energy rests on ideas first explored by scientists like Lise Meitner and Ernest Rutherford, whose understanding of atomic structure made this dream possible. On June 2nd, engineers in South Korea unveiled the country's first fully autonomous ferry, successfully completing its maiden voyage between Busan and Jeoye Island. Using AI, lidar, and satellite tracking, the vessel promises safer, more efficient transport. But the innovation also echoes a deeper history of maritime navigation, from Polynesian wayfinders and the astrolabe to the steamship and GPS. Each step in this continuum of transport technology reflects the same human drive, to go farther, smarter, and safer. In Berlin, technologists gathered for the Tech for Democracy conference on June 7, where engineers and activists showcased decentralized voting platforms and misinformation filtering tools. Inspired by blockchain technology and open-source ethics, the event highlighted a growing movement to reclaim digital spaces for public good. These platforms owe their lineage not just to recent inventions, but to centuries-old democratic mechanisms and innovations like the printing press and the secret ballot, which once revolutionized civic participation. The intersection of creativity and invention was also on display this week at the Venice Biennale, where an Iranian artist unveiled a generative installation titled The Machine Dreams of Gardens. Using algorithms, kinetic sculpture, and historic irrigation maps, the work explored how technology reshapes memory, land, and identity. It sparked conversation not only about the future of digital art, but about the ingenuity of ancient water engineering, from Persian qanats to Roman aqueducts. And finally, this week also marked the 150th anniversary of the birth of Thomas J. Watson, the founder of IBM and one of the key architects of early corporate computing. Born in 1874, Watson transformed tabulating machines into digital computing infrastructure that would define the 20th century. The anniversary, observed on June 6, prompted retrospectives on the evolution of business technology, from punch cards to cloud computing, and how industrial innovation becomes embedded in daily life. From fusion and artificial intelligence to autonomous vessels and wearable diagnostics, this week's innovations remind us that every breakthrough is built on layers of history. Technologies may change rapidly, but the questions they raise about equity, purpose, and progress remain timeless. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Innovations and Inventions. If you found this journey through breakthrough technologies insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with someone fascinated by how history shapes the tools we use today. We'll see you next week with a brand new lineup of historical episodes. Until then, I'm your guide for History Explained, where understanding yesterday is the key to navigating tomorrow.